Investigating a crash site like this is difficult under the best of circumstances, but this is a war zone. And to help us sort out the challenges, we're joined by Douglas Smith. He served as an assistant secretary at the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, this crash site has been unsecured now for 2 weeks. And even if there is a ceasefire, an official ceasefire, how difficult will it be to conduct an investigation and collect evidence? Because there's still so much out there.
I mean, one of the great challenges of lack of control, in Washington, D.C., in Beijing, if a crime happens, you secure the scene, the investigators come in, they collect evidence, and they process it. With 2 weeks of fighting that's been going on, uncertainty of chain of custody, that's going to be the great challenge. I mean, where are the black boxes? Where is all the evidence? Today's reports indicate there's still 80-some bodies that have not been recovered. So that's going to be one of the big challenges. And all the while, as some of the investigators went in today, still explosions going on. So the personal safety of these investigators needs to be a concern as well.
They had about an hour out there, which clearly is not enough time. Is there a chance that they could lose access to that accident site? I mean, would it be an hour here, an hour there, a big window? How is there a guarantee, or who will guarantee that they'll have a large enough time frame to work and do their job?
Well, I mean, that's the great challenge. They need more than an hour. I mean, they'll probably need weeks of uninterrupted time to really repiece all of what happened. And the challenge now is an active war zone. And as the rebels move in and out, there is no one controlling that. And the big question will be, will Russia step up and help to broker peace? Will the UN be able to come up? I mean, at the moment, the Australians, the Dutch are nervous about sending their folks in. They're sending them into an active war zone, and with that going on, how can you guarantee their safety?
The Dutch Prime Minister and the Malaysian Prime Minister managed to accomplish something in maybe negotiating this window in which to work, appealing to both sides, the separatists and to Ukraine, to stop the fighting. Do you think that they can be successful in doing more diplomatically, and maybe not the bigger countries, but these smaller countries in maybe getting something done?
I mean, perhaps, only in that their only vested interest is to recover the remains of their citizens. They're not players in the active conflict going on there. So it may help, but at the same time, this is a global issue. There are 192 signatories of the International Civil Aviation Organization. They are all a part of this. When a civilian aircraft goes down, every civilian aircraft is threatened. So one would hope that the world organizations would come together and say, in a time like this, we need to put down our arms, give them the space they need to do. And once they're done, we'll see what happens. But they need to be given that space and time.
And even if there is time for these investigators to go out there, what are the repercussions if one of those investigators happens to get caught up in some crossfire, in some fighting? How does that get answered?
With great difficulty. I mean, that's the real challenge, and it's a real nerve-wracking thing. The Malaysians sent 40-some police officers today. The Dutch are there. The Australians are there. They're there for one mission and one mission only. That is to recover the remains and to figure out exactly what happened. If one of them gets injured or God forbid, gets hurt in a firing by an accidental discharge, who knows what will happen. The issue is they need the time to process the site. And until the rebels, the Ukrainians, the Russians, the powers that be, back off from the scene and allow this to happen, I think they'll all be in a tremendous amount of danger.
All right, that sounds like a possible scenario, but otherwise, nothing. All right. Douglas Smith, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.